Hey there, today we're doing a review of this sling. It's the Black Ember Grip 6 liter. Here at Nomads Nation, we have been reviewing the world's best EDC and travel gear for 8 years. And in this video, I'm gonna tear this thing apart. We're gonna pack it out, double check its advertised capacity, give you my brutally honest pros and cons, plus my overall scores. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if this is not the sling for you, I'm gonna give you 2 alternative sling recommendations that might be a bit more up your alley, might better suit your needs, because here at Nomads Nation, I don't care what bag you buy, I just want you to find the best bag for your needs. Let's talk about the gist, the Black Ember Grip 6 liter sling. Black Ember is from Frisco, and they're known for making very urban, very tech-focused carry gear. That's also quite premium and quite expensive. Let me run you through the sling's top features. It's a very structured sling. There's a bit of malleability with the front, but more or less, you know, there's a lot of padding and fabrics going on here. We got a quick access front pocket, a wide mouth opening main compartment with a bit of organization, a back tech sleeve, a beefy top handle, and a harness system that I have some thoughts on. Not all positive, not all negative either. It's not my favorite. And I'll talk about that a bit more in detail in the next chapter. Now, Black Ember claims this sling is 6 liters in capacity, but here at Nomads Nation, we always double check this. Let's do a quick dimension check. Quick dimension check, we've got a width of 12 inches, a height of 7 inches, and a fully packed out depth of 5 inches. As you can see, we fully packed out the front and main compartment, but not the tech sleeve, because as you can see, it's pretty flush. There's not really much volume in there. Front pocket, not a lot of volume, getting about 1 liter. And then with the main compartment as well, you can see we're getting less than 4 liters total capacity. And this is why I brought up just how structured and chunky this sling is, because I'm sure if you multiplied the height times the width times the depth, you'd be like, wow, that's 6 liters of space. But math and soft goods, they don't always see eye to eye, especially when it comes to volume. All this structure is gonna give you plenty of sexification of the bag and tech protection, but it does limit the internal capacity. So it's a 6 liter, but it's gonna carry a lot more like a 4 liter. Black Ember claims this sling weighs 1 pound, which that's not light. It's 1.3 pounds on scale number 1 and 1.3 pounds on scale number 2. As of recording, the grip sling comes in 2 color options. This is what the bag looks like when it's empty and flattened like a pancake. And this is what the bag looks like fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. I'm 5'8", and our dapper model extraordinaire, Jason Bagmoa, is 6'2". And don't worry, we're gonna pack out this sling throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Black Ember bags are protected by a lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, this sling runs around 135 USD. Now let's be honest, that's not cheap for a sling. But it doesn't mean it's not worth it. And throughout the rest of this review, I'm gonna be analyzing the design choices and the materials to let you know if I think it's worth it. But if at any point during this review you think it's worth it and you're thinking about making a purchase, we highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description below. 2 reasons why. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and also if we have any discount codes, it'll be next to that link right down there. Let's talk about the outside of the Black Ember Grip Sling 6 liter. Black Ember's aesthetic, I think, can always be described as just very urban techy. It's dark, not like gothic dark, but there's a little gothic element to their bags I'll talk about in a second, but it's just kind of like, it just looks like something you'd wear in a foggy day in Frisco. But overall, I think it's a very smart look, a very modern look, and one thing contributing to that aesthetic is going to be the primary fabric. This primary fabric is a 1220 by 600 nylon 6, which is basically a ballistic nylon. A fabric that's gonna give you a decent amount of weather resistance, but it's gonna give you a crap ton of abrasion resistance. This is basically a fabric that's ready for war. And it's also just contributing to its nice look. Like, it's just a really good looking fabric. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it, but while looking and feeling tough at the same time. But it's pretty well padded. Like, there's like, I don't know if the mic is picking that up, but it's almost got like an X-Packy kind of a crunch to it. And that's because Black Ember is known for having extremely weather-resistant, borderline waterproof bags. So there might be some sort of padding or layer that's keeping water out underneath that nylon. But also, another thing contributing to the weather resistance is this PU-coated zipper. This zipper is made from YKK. The PU coating is a plastic finish. It's polyurethane. It's going to make the bag significantly more weather resistant and obviously give it a very sleek and modern look. But on the negative side, it could end up looking like this over time and peeling, because it's plastic and plastic can just peel. There's no guarantee, but it is definitely a possibility. And you should be aware of that possibility, especially if you're spending, 140 bucks in this sling. Back to my gothic statement. The one thing about Black Ember bags that is a little gothy to me are these zipper pulls. They just kind of look like, I don't know, something that Marilyn Manson would have made, or something that you'd find like decorated on somebody who's going to a new metal Korn concert or something. It just gives me like dark witchcraft kind of vibes. I don't know why, maybe I'm weird. Do you agree? These zipper pulls just kind of give you dark gothic, like witchcraft kind of vibes. I'm not making fun of them though, because I love these zipper pullers because they do one of my favorite things ever. Let me explain. These are laser cut Hypalon, and they are amazing to the touch, and they are thin at the top, and next to each zipper, you have some more laser cut Hypalon with a hole in it, and you can weave the zipper pull through, and therefore, here's a close up, you can just kind of lock that into place. And this is not like locked into place, but it's definitely a theft deterrent. And I just love that. It's one of those things that it never gets in the way, and it just gives you a little extra peace of mind. I'm not like a fearmonger, I live in Hong Kong. I don't need to do stuff like that. We're very blessed here when it comes to safety. But if I do take this sling to a new destination, one that I'm just less certain about, less familiar with the territory, a feature like that, it's just nice. It just gives a little extra peace of mind. But it does come at the cost of having very long and kind of annoying and dingleberry-esque zipper pulls, so pro and a con there. Inside the front pocket, we have no additional organization, just a key leash. This key leash is sewn in, as you can see right here, but it is detachable with this fidlock buckle. You can see that's nice, easy to clip back on, very easy access there. And what's cool about this front pocket is obviously you can use it for things that you want quick access to that are smaller, like your phone. Slide my iPhone 13 in there, easy peasy. But the pocket has a bit of volume to it. You can see what I'm talking about. So much so that I think that this couple adapters is gonna fit in there, oh my God, with room to spare. So there's a lot of versatility that this pocket gives you because of that. But one thing to note about this sling, which might be a little bit of a downer, is just how freaking bulky it can get. I mean, look at me walking with this sling. I've got a water bottle in the main compartment, and that's like a pro and a con with the space that you can use and how much volume you have in this sling. It can hold more stuff, but you might look a little strange in the process. Actually, I'm just gonna keep these now in this pocket so we can demonstrate what the sling is like fully packed out. Some other notes on the outside of the sling. Top handle, nice to have. You're not gonna be carrying this thing in briefcase mode too often, but it's just a point of leverage if you wanna move the bag around. You've got lash points too on either side of the handle. But it is especially nice because you can remove the shoulder strap, therefore allowing you to use this as a tech pouch, and that handle's very nice. Quite convenient when you wanna grab this tech pouch and bring it in and out of your bag. Now talking about the shoulder strap, it's just not my favorite, but it's a very personal, subjective thing. I like shoulder straps on slings that are built more like this Bellroy cinch, where you can see it's just low key. There's not a lot of fussing about. It's got some padding on it, but it's very minimalist and creates a more simple user experience for me and my slow brain. Because my slow brain, it can't handle all this. There's a lot of this going on where we have this whole strap system and then buckle here and then like a double buckle here, and then I can adjust this side, but I can also adjust that side, and there's excess dangle going on. My brain is breaking just thinking about it. Now listen, I understand on the flip side though, this allows ultimate customization. So if you want to put the sling in a particular position, you can then adjust the strap accordingly and then put the padding on a part of your body where it will be taking the most pressure. But the flip side of that though is this is a long shoulder strap. It's got a decent landing length to it. But let's just say if you want to go from back mode to front mode, right? Just to do a little switcheroo, sometimes that's like the best part of a sling. Just kind of fiddling around with it and carrying it from one way to another. But now the padding isn't protecting my pressure point. So pros and cons. This padding will give you extra comfort, but the extra comfort is gonna come with more complications and buckles and webbing and everything. And also the padding part is not always gonna be on your body depending on how you're shifting the sling around. Also, this is a very like stiff shoulder strap padding situation going on. I'm sure that it will settle in a little bit over time, but the whole thing just feels coarse in general. You got a coarse fabric mesh here, all this hardware here, which is metal and hard. It's just a lot. And a lot is not what I prefer on a sling, but for some people who want the extra customization, extra potential comfort, and just a killer look, like it kind of pulls the whole sling together, in my opinion, then you're gonna love this. I will say though, this shoulder strap is premium as f. This nylon webbing is gorgeous. We have a dangle stopper right here to help stop the excess nylon webbing from flapping all over the place. And this metal hardware in particular is quite satisfying to use and very easy to tighten, easy to loosen, and coolest of all, now it connects via these two wings right here. And these wings have pros and cons as well. One pro is there's a lot of great movement going on with these wings. And that's emphasized by this swivel system right here, where the shoulder strap actually moves with your body. A little bit of this way, a little bit of that way, just kind of dancing with you. And it works very well with these flaps. It's a very comfortable sling from that perspective. But on the flip side, these flaps are extra fabric and there's a lot of padding in here to kind of keep them stiff and like well positioned. And sometimes when you're wearing the sling, you can feel these not jabbing into you, but just kind of like pressing against you. And there's binding around these. And binding is just kind of hard, right? It's where a bunch of fabrics meet and then they gotta sew this into place. Again, not really comfort things, but if you're just a bit more of an OCD or ADHD type person like me, it just might annoy you a little bit. But good thing, we can actually remove this shoulder strap altogether, therefore allowing you to go into tech pouch mode. So that can be taken off and then you can use this as a tech pouch in your bag or even your travel bag. And a great use case for this bag, for the Grip Sling 6 liter in general, I think, is using it as an organizer when you're traveling, putting this in your travel bag, or you can use it as your actual travel sling. But if you don't roll that way, that's fine. And then when you get to your destination though, you take this out, you unpack whatever was in there, you slide the strap on, and then this is your day bag. And I think at 4 liters capacity, a day bag that size is actually pretty good. There's a lot that you can fit in it. And you know what, speaking of which, let me show you what I mean. Let's pack it out. Let's jump into the next section. Now real fast, before we jump into the next section, I gotta let you know if you are really enjoying this review, you might be a bit of a gearhead, or at the very least you love travel and EDC and maybe bags. And if that's true, I gotta let you know that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do bag reviews on our YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, I am delivering to 10,000 plus gearheads around the world, everything that's happening in this incredible industry. I'm talking about the newest drops, limited edition releases, industry trends, and everything in between. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this community, I'm so proud of this newsletter. We put a lot of time and effort into it. It is a one-of-a-kind resource. And to sign up, you can just follow this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. Let's talk about the inside of the Black Ember Grip Sling 6. Let's talk about the back tech sleeve right here. We've got a little divider and a single PU-coated zipper that gets you inside. Now it says it can only fit up to an iPad mini, which we do not have, but I do have a Kindle, which you can see slides into the back. But then that means this 11.5-inch iPad will not fit. Oof, we're close, but yeah, that is gonna be a no-go for the 11.5, but for the mini, you should be good to go. Let's test out a few more things in the back compartment. Remember, we got the Kindle in the back sleeve, but you can also fit a book in here, a couple of smaller notebooks, or just your phone. And should be noted, when we did the volume test, we didn't test the back pocket because the main compartment was fully packed out and then like totally pressed this tech compartment, leaving it capacityless. But now the main compartment is not packed out, you see there's actually volume here, so fitting a thicker book actually is totally a thing. But then of course that will then compete with volume in the main compartment. Speaking of which, let's jump on in. You can see we got double zipper access. These double zips can weave and lock-ish into each other with Black Ember's rock and roll, semi-gothic, but also totally awesome zipper pull situation. And then we are in the main compartment. And this is going to be ideal for all your small bits of gear you're traveling with, but not so much when it comes to bigger stuff. Let me show you what I mean. So you can technically get an umbrella in here, which is nice, but your over-the-ear headphones are gonna be a little bit trickier. Actually, you know what? That's okay. The thing is though, it just depends on how packed out this sling actually is. Now that I got the front compartment packed out with the bulky chargers and the back compartment packed out with a Kindle and a book, double dipping with my reading, now I feel less safe on my headphones in there. It'll obviously depend on how safe you feel in general, with how durable your headphones are, and just how packed out the sling actually is. But the good news is that if it's not too packed out, they can definitely fit pretty comfortably. Lightweight hoodie, not gonna happen. So I think that when you've got the front two compartments fully packed out, you're just going for the smaller bits of gear. So maybe you got a couple of phone chargers, one for you, one for the partner, or a backup just in case, tissues, multi-tool, tape measure, and then in this pocket we can throw a couple pens, maybe a tote, zip it on up, and yeah, that's our 6-ish liter sling. The bulk is increased, right? This is the whole thing about this sling is quite interesting because when I see it, I'm like, oh, it actually looks quite small. And it's because it does a really good job of not expanding too much when it's empty. But then when you push it and you pack it out, like this is the size of an American football. I could throw a mean spiral with this. That's not true. American football was never my thing. I was always a soccer player. All right, sliding the shoulder strap back on. And while this thing looks bulky, I will admit, it's pretty dope travel companion. You're headed to San Fran for the weekend and you want to look pretty dope, headed to some business meetings and you want to be prepared for anything, it's actually a pretty cool sling. All right, let's talk about the overall pros and cons of the Black Ember Grip Sling 6 liter. Should be noted these pros and cons and overall scores I'm about to give you are completely personal, just based on my experience using the bag. Pro number one is just how premium this bag feels. There's a lot of premium bag brands out there, but Black Ember I think is on a different level when it comes to touch points. It's the nylon and the laser cut Hypalon, and the metal hardware. This thing just feels awesome every time you interact with it. Pro number two is going to be the capacity of the different compartments. Although they don't really equate to 6 liters in total, in my opinion, they all can kind of like expand and or shrink depending on what you're packing in them. It's actually very well designed from that perspective. And pro number three is the fact that the shoulder strap is in fact detachable, making this a great tech pouch / sling travel companion. But I got cons too, let's talk about them. Con number one, the shoulder strap and all the bucklage and webbing, it's just way too complex for my taste. Con number two for me, stick it on the shoulder strap. It's too coarse for my taste, both in terms of the mesh that's being used under here and just like, it's not cozy. Nothing cozy about this. And con number three is just gonna be how bulky the sling is. And that extends to when it's empty and it just feels quite thick and heavy. It's 1.3 pounds for a 6 liter sling, wow. But then also when you actually pack it out, the bulk distributes from east to west in a way that's, it's pretty noticeable. Time for my overall scores. Score number one for comfort, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Slings are rarely uncomfortable to me. Like I don't think I could ever give a sling a 2 out of 5. But this sling is definitely on the heavier side, on the bulkier side. And the shoulder strap situation is just not my favorite. It's a fine wear, but not the most comfortable in my opinion. Next up for value, again, I'll give this sling a 3 out of 5. You are getting some of the most premium touch points that money can buy. But at 130 USD, it's definitely one of the more pricey slings on the market. And finally, for my overall score, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Almost a 4, like I like it because it knows what it is, it knows what it's trying to do. I think it's flawed in some ways that aren't quite for me, but I do see for the right person that this is actually like a really well-designed and versatile sling. Like if you dig this is like a 5 out of 5. But for me, I don't dig this, so hence my overall score, 3.5. Final answer. But maybe this sling is a 5 out of 5 for you, or 4.5, or maybe it's a 3 and you still wanna buy it anyways. If that's the case, just a reminder, we recommend doing so with the first link in the description, just because that link makes sure you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's where you'll find them. But if you're not quite sold on Black Ember, let's talk alternatives. First up, if you are new to the Nomads Nation YouTube channel, welcome again. I'm going to recommend redirecting yourself to our leaderboard rankings video. In this video, myself and the rest of the Nomads Nation squad, we get together and pick our favorite bags in different bag categories, slings included. This is the quickest way to get caught up to speed with what the best options are on the market. I've gone ahead and linked that above. And also, in case you don't know, if you're new to Nomads Nation, you might be smitten to find out that after reviewing hundreds of the world's best bags and slings, I got this fiery desire to start a bag brand of my own. So we did, and that brand is called Firo. Firo's on a mission to keep modern professionals streamlined and focused. We've launched an EDC, a travel bag, and our own sling. The feedback we've gotten so far has been mind-blowingly good, and I'm so proud of what we built there. If you want to learn more, you can do so at firo.co or with the second link in the description. But if we're really close with the Black Ember Grip 6 liter, here are 2 alternatives that might get you a little bit closer. First alternative is the Tomtoc Wander T26. It's a great pick for you if you're looking for a larger 5-ish liter sling, but 130 USD is a bit tough of a pill to swallow. You want to spend significantly less. The Wander T26 runs around 75 for the ballistic nylon version, and Tomtoc just makes great gear. And my second alternative will be the Aer Day Sling 4 Max. Great pick for you if you like the Frisco vibe of Black Ember, but again, you're looking to cut the price a little bit, and you just wanna see that modern tech sling done a little bit differently. Aer and Black Ember are rivals in many ways. They're from the same area, they serve a similar community, and also Aer makes some of the best bags in the world. Honestly, all three slings are pretty darn cool. You just gotta figure out which one best suits your needs. And to learn more about the two alternatives, you can just watch these videos right here. If you have any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.